Well, once I had an accident. Not too bad, just a little dent. New Mercedes hit me from the rear. A man got out in a three-piece suit and asked if $1,000 would do it. I said, well, let me think for a minute here. Gotta talk to my lawyer. Might have whiplash.
Hey everybody, welcome to our new Community Corner series. For those of you who don't know what Community Corner is, it's a segment that I like to do to highlight people, businesses, and leaders in the community. So today we're going to talk with Ben Lynch here. Ben is an attorney here in Des Moines, and he'll tell you a little bit more about who he is and what he does. So Ben, you know, the first question I got for you is tell everybody kind of who you are outside of, you know, your business.
Sure. My name is Ben Lynch. I've been living in Des Moines for about 10 years. I love outdoor activities. I consider myself an avid kayaker, mountain biker. I like working out, rock climbing, weightlifting. Anything related to that is awesome. I love food, movies, music. I'm a big family guy. 3 dogs. I'm a homeowner, small business owner, and I just love Des Moines. And when I'm not doing that kind of stuff, I'm also big on activism and giving back to the community. So those are also things that are super important to me as well too.
Yeah, and I can attest to some of that. I mean, we've gone skiing out in Colorado together, so which is immensely fun. We're gonna have to do that again. And you just recently did a fundraiser for the homeless over the winter, right?
Yes, it did. We got a bunch of individuals in Des Moines and across the state who were nice enough to help me in a donation that I made and kind of contribute some funds to 2 different organizations that I'm really happy about and really supportive of. One is the Des Moines Mutual Aid, and another is the Edna Griffin Mutual Aid. And essentially what it is it's some amazing people from Des Moines who go out and canvass the local homeless shelters and camps along the rivers, and essentially it's just a bunch of people living in tents along the river who have just come upon some really tough times, and they provide them with some of the resources they need, like tents, propane tanks, helping fight against certain tickets, you know, when the city tries to level the camps or ticket them for panhandling, coats, boots. So we were able to raise about $2,200, I think, and I think we also donated 3 or 4 different tents and 6 or 7 propane tanks. I'm kind of guessing on some of that stuff because it was a while ago, but it helped during those frigid winter months for I think like up to like 50, 60 people. So we were super happy about that. And we, again, want to thank everybody who contributed some of those items and money.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool that you did that. And it was really good timing. I mean, providing heat and stuff like that, tents, I mean, that saves lives, especially this winter. It's been brutal. So that's really awesome, man. You know, so talking a little bit about, you know, what you do as an attorney, you just recently started, I know you just recently started your own firm, kind of went solo. I'm not going to give too much about that, but you were with some pretty big firms for a while and decided that was the way you wanted to go. Can tell people a little bit about, you know, your line of work, like what'd you do and what made you decide to do it?
So I've been practicing for about 5 years. I graduated from Drake Law School here in Des Moines, and like you said, I was working for some bigger firms. I come from a line of personal injury, work comp, and corporate in-house business law. And I went to law school and I got a gift and a privilege to help people. And when I was working at those other jobs, I did enjoy what I did, but I felt I wasn't using my talents to just help the everyday person. So I wanted to go solo so I could direct what cases I took. You know, I could pick up or turn down any type of work that I wanted to. And now that I have this solo firm, I find myself taking on cases that I find extremely important and that I'm passionate about. And those are things that I couldn't do at the previous firms. So a lot more flexibility to take on the type of work that I want, the stuff that I'm passionate about. I'm now able to do a lot of civil rights stuff, police abuse of force, employment, sexual harassment, just things that I wasn't able to help people with prior to being on my own. So I've been here for about 6 months, and I'm really, really liking it so far.
That's awesome, man.
No regrets.
Yeah. It's, like I could feel in the way that's kind of what got me into real estate, was wanting to be able to control my own stuff, you know, my own destiny and do the things you're passionate about. And, you know, you you work a little bit harder. It seems like a little bit when the passion's there, no matter what. So, so tell us where you're located. How could people get a hold of you?
So I am located on the corner of 86 and Hickman, kind of by AMC Theater, Natural Grocers. You can reach me on my website, benlynchlaw.com, email ben@benlynchlaw.com, or my phone number. I'm going to ask Chris, can you put up a little banner with my contact information right here? You can reach me by phone, or you can just walk in. Very conveniently located, free parking. We have our own solo office here, so I don't share an office space with anybody. Lots of privacy, a lot of room to spread out. Sometimes we bring the dogs in. I have a red Irish setter, and she's a huge cuddler, and she can be a nice therapy dog for people as well too. So very homey, friendly, informal. As you can see, I'm not wearing a suit. We just like to be comfortable, and we feel that's the best way to connect with just our everyday people who come in here and need help. We're not better than anybody. We're not fancy. We just like to level with people and give them the representation that they deserve. So that's how we do business here.
I like that a lot, man. So how long have you been an attorney, in the industry, kind of talk about what type of services that you do offer?
So went to law school for 3 years, and I've been practicing for 5. So I've been kind of in the arena for about 8 years now, 7, 8 years. And I've been at this shop, my business, for 6 months. It'll be 6 months at the end of the month. Our caseload typically involves personal injury, work comp, and employment law, which kind of touches on civil rights as well too. Those would be the main areas that we focus on. We also do a little bit of family law, contract work, a little bit of criminal work, but we tend to try to focus on people who have been wronged. Those are the type of people that we like helping. That's what we're the most passionate about. We don't represent governments, police departments, employers, insurance companies. We fight for the little guy. That's our motto. We don't take any of those type of cases, even if they walk through the door with a big check. We just don't take it on.
Yeah,
we help everyday people. That's what we do.
That's good. We need a lot more of that. Sometimes it seems like everybody's that's one of the reasons why I like you, Ben. You're a good dude. What would you say, sets you apart? Because there are, just like as a real estate agent, there's 3,300 of us, and there's not, there's a lot of people, and there's a lot of people to choose from, and you've got those other firms and those big people who are advertising out, spending millions of dollars and stuff like that, and with the choices that people have in the internet, what would you say sets you apart from your competitors, so to speak, or other attorneys that do the same thing?
I think you kind of just hit it in the way that you described the other firms. Massive, spending a lot of time on advertising. If people want to go to a settlement factory, or if they want to go to somewhere where they might not get a call back or a response email, or it might take a week, go for it. I would highly advise against it, but I think the difference that you'll see between those big firms and my office is, number one, we have fantastic support staff. We don't take on so much work that we can't get back to our clients. We prioritize amazing communication, returning phone calls, emails, setting up meetings when we need to, because when you come to me and you get represented on a case that's important to you, we know that that's probably the most stressful and important thing going on in your life. And when you're going days or weeks without hearing what's going on with the case, or you don't feel like it's being taken seriously, you lose confidence in the process, you lose confidence in attorneys, and you lose confidence in the case. So we set ourselves apart by doing those things. And also, our personalities at the office are different than a lot of other attorneys. As you can see, I'm a little bit unconventional. I like to be one-on-one with my clients, using personality and tone that I feel connects with them. I'm not, we don't have a skyrise office suite with people come to the office. You got to pay for parking. You might have to talk to a receptionist before you can talk to an attorney. You might have to schedule things weeks in advance. We're the everyday attorney. That's what sets us apart. Is when you come and talk to me, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to be brutally honest with you, but I'm going to say it in a way that you're going to understand and you're going to respect.
Yeah, that's good.
Because I respect my clients, and I think it's important.
And a lot of those, and like, every it's not against the other firms out there, but you don't when you go to a big law firm, it's got a name on it. Odds are you're not working with that person. They have associates and things like that. So you come into Ben Lynch Law, and Ben Lynch is right there in front.
When you call me, this is the phone that it goes to, and I answer the phone. I think that's important. We don't spend our money advertising. We could dip our money into phone and radio and billboards and stuff like that. We'd rather spend our money on case expenses, things that actually matter to the clients. We get our business from word of mouth, and that's from other attorneys and other people saying Ben and his office and his staff are great people, and you should go use them. And we drum up enough business to make a living doing that. And we think that speaks to our reputation and our personality and the way that we do business. We do not advertise. So
you would look pretty damn good up there on a billboard, buddy.
I don't know. I think I'd rather have I think my office manager would do a lot better job of that. I'm a little homely. I'd prefer just to stay off those pictures. I'll take your word for it, though. We'll see going forward. Like I said, I'd prefer not advertising. I mean, that's just the way that we like to do business. So We'll see what the future holds. But as of right now, we don't need it or really want it.
Yeah, no, it's good. Word of mouth, is everything. And it's nice to know that you're, working hard for your clients and stuff like that. So what would your, I think we kind of touched on that, like who your ideal client is. You talked a little bit about, personal injury and a few other areas that you worked. Is there anything more you want to touch on that? Or
I would say my ideal client is somebody who's been wronged. If you've been hurt at work, you've been hurt in a car accident, you got sexually harassed at work, you got terminated at work for an improper reason due to your race or creed, national origin, gender identity. If you've been wrongfully arrested or abused or a victim of police misconduct, those are the type of people that we get super excited about helping. We work for the people, we care about the people, and we want to help you if you've been wronged. Those are the type of people that I love helping the most.
And you've done a little bit of helping people real estate wise too. I know I should owe you some money for all the advice I get from you when I call you from time to time. So that goes a long way, and it's really nice to know when I talk to somebody. I even though I know that you're busy and you've got things, and a lot of attorneys, don't. There's a lot of stuff you can and can't say when you're giving advice out, but you always direct me in the right way, and I really appreciate that. I know that I asked you, a client of mine, and you directed us. Like, it wasn't something that you specifically did, but people, and so you directed us to them, and that's really helpful to know too. That you've got someone who's honest. It's like, hey, it's not where I'm at, but here's someone who is, and
right.
That just makes it even better. So I think that's really nice. So every industry, there are misconceptions. What are some misconceptions in your industry that you want to
I would say two major misconceptions. Number one, that the profession of law or the practice of law is corrupt, unethical, illegal. I've been practicing for 5 years. I went to law school for 3, and during that time, I kind of practiced as a student and under the supervision of other people as well too. So I've been practicing for about 8 years now. Never seen anything illegal, improper. We are regulated so strictly. We get audits all the time. We have to comply with local, state, federal rules and regulations. Even the money that we bring in is heavily audited. We have to reconcile each and every penny that comes through the door. And I think that we're held to actually a very high standard of conduct. The stuff that you see in movies about, backroom deals, money under the table, bribery, lying, deceit. I don't see that, and I certainly don't do it myself too. So I'm trying to rebuild the trust that I think has been lost in the past in the legal profession. Number two, that people who file lawsuits or seek out legal help or representation or receive money after they've been wronged by an employer or somebody else driving a vehicle or the police or the government, that they're fakers, that they're looking for a handout, that it's wrong, or that they shouldn't be pursuing those sorts of things. I don't like that line of thought, or that mentality that we have in America, that litigation is the wrong thing to do. If you've been wronged, you have the right to compensation, and I don't think there's anything wrong or you should be ashamed of for doing that. So a lot of times people have been, very seriously aggrieved by somebody else, some other entity or an employer, and they just think that they should walk away from it, or that they're ashamed for doing so if they do decide to seek representation. And I would like to try to flip that narrative. Obviously there are some people out there that take advantage of the system, but the vast majority of the people that I see trying to get compensation or turn a wrong into a right is meritorious. It's legitimate. It's real. I've certainly never helped anybody file a frivolous lawsuit. We have a screening process that we go through, and just something that I would want people to think about is the legal profession's here for a reason, and I'm here to help you, and you shouldn't be ashamed of doing anything like that.
Yeah, I like that. There is, you're right. There is a lot, and in every system, there's no system where there's not going to be a certain percentage of people that take advantage of systems. It's the law in nature, but I feel the same way, in what I do too. So that there's a right way to do it, and that's why there's things in place. That's why contracts are things. There's why there's protections on both sides, because we do live in a society that you should be protected against things, fraud and accidents, and an accident is an accident, but doesn't mean that you should suffer from that. So I really like that. Couple more questions and we'll wrap this up. What advice would you give people who are watching this?
With respects to like legal advice, or what type of advice do you
legal
need?
advice, can you? That's you got to give your whole spiel about how it's not interpreted as legal advice, right?
Disclaimer, I am not your attorney, and anything I say does not establish an attorney-client relationship.
No, if advice on, maybe if they've got, a problem and they're worried about it, or, personal advice, I don't know, whatever you want.
I'd say with legal advice, just if you feel like a situation doesn't feel right, smell right, or you want to see if you maybe have a case, give an attorney a call. It doesn't have to be me. Just pick someone's brain who's an expert in the field. And another thing, prior to picking the expert's brain, keep all the documentation, text messages, phone calls, contracts, anything that you sign. Always ask for a copy of that stuff and throw it in a file, because you never know when you'll need it for a later date. Turning it to advice for real estate stuff, number one thing I can say is just be honest and don't lie in any of the applications, the forms, the contracts that you're signing. Just for example, like a seller's disclosure, one requirement in Iowa law says that if you're selling a house, you have to disclose any known issues to the buyer that they might not be able to see just with a reasonable inspection. Like, for example, if a basement leaks, if you're living in a house for 20 years and you know that it leaks every spring, and you say basement does not leak on that form, you're going to have a problem. That's due to dishonesty. So it always pays to tell the truth. And that's kind of true with real estate and also life in general. So I guess that's my piece of advice.
Yeah, that's really good. I give the same advice to my clients when they're filling out those seller's disclosures is, hey, it's Iowa, right? Especially basements are a big thing in Iowa, so it's Iowa. You're looking at a house that's, built in the 1930s sometimes. Odds are you're going to have some water issues. Odds are there are, so just put it how much it is, what it is, and let it go, and let the buyer determine if that's an issue for them, or especially if you fixed it. A lot of people don't care if there's a problem and you fixed it, great. They don't really care about the problem as long as it was fixed. So yeah, I really like that. Last little bit. So if, and you probably answered this already because you already do it, but and if you weren't doing, if you weren't an attorney, if you weren't doing this, what would you be doing? If money didn't matter, time didn't matter.
I'd say it'd have to be something outside, working with other people. Sometimes I daydream that maybe my retirement job's going to be being a tour guide for camping trips, backpacking, maybe a deep sea fishing charter. I don't know, anything where I'm outside and I can just be in the sun and work with other people. I would say that's probably what it would center around. Obviously, when I'm practicing law, I'm inside a lot in the courtroom or at my office, but we do make time to get outside. I think it's really important to feel the sun from now and time again. And now that it's getting warmer out, I'm super excited to do that.
Oh yeah, I think everyone's ready for spring and a little bit of R&R. So I think we've all earned it. So
Yeah, no kidding.
awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you taking your time to chat with me today. Again, this is Ben Lynch. Ben Lynch. Ben Lynch Law. Yeah, get a hold of him. He's a great guy. Again, thanks, Ben, for taking the time to talk to me. It was wonderful.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me.
All right, bud. Talk to you later.
You know how? By just your being you. Only one person in the whole world like you. That's you yourself. I'll be back next time. Bye-bye.